Hi babes and welcome to a brand new episode of the Final FronTia. Now on this week's episode, we have got a Drag Race UK icon. They are the winner of arguably the most iconic season of Drag Race.
It's me, Crystal Versace, yes! It's me!
Yeah, it's Lawrence Chaney. Hello, Lawrence Chaney.
Hello, Tia Kofi. Good to see you.
Lovely to see you as well.
I know. Do we want to explain our outfits before we go any further?
I think for the people watching or listening at home, please, Larry Chauncey, if you
so,
could.
if you're Orange Chaney, if you're listening at home or watching, I hope you're able to see that we are dressed as Lady Gaga and Beyonce from the Telephone music video. And basically, I wanted to do this, message you if you wanted to do it. You were like, yeah, why not? And we did it.
I feel like it's been years. I feel like I remember you bringing this up like 3 years ago. And
I
you were
did
like, we should
on
do
tour.
This.
I think we brought it up in 2022. I was like, wouldn't this be so cool? And you're not a big Gaga fan, but you like Beyonce. So I was like, there's something in it for you as well.
Yeah, it's personal gain.
It's not just about me. But yeah, and I'm glad we finally did it. And it kind of seemed fitting for the podcast as well.
Yes, and we've also got some pictures. Here's the final shot here.
Yes.
If you're listening at home, go on Instagram.
You'll notice I look much thinner. Not much thinner, but I have less chins and the makeup's better and the wig's probably yellow because I couldn't get a yellow wig.
Yeah, editor Richard probably can't be doing that.
Yeah, no, I need you to do some Marvel level CGI on me. Make me thin. Give me the tattoos, please, and I'll be Lady Gaga for you.
Challenge accepted.
Yeah.
But we're here on the Final FronTia, and as you know, this is all about fandoms.
Your light's about to fall.
The light behind me is about to fall.
No, the light in your eyes is falling out of you
gone.
as we speak.
My soul has left my body. This podcast is all about fandoms, and we have bonded not only over the fact that we're both Libras, not only over the fact that we're both called Lawrence, not only over the fact that we both won a UK season that was the second season of Drag Race.
I won mine the first time.
Yeah, and I didn't.
No.
But I won.
We have a lot in common, though. We really do.
Everyone, and universally, everyone loved and respected our win. That's what we have in common. Thank you, Drag Race fans. But this is
that's not what I heard in the DMs last night. I think they hate both of us. But I think that bonded us actually really well. I think maybe you didn't understand what I was going through after winning. And then when you won, I mean, everyone was like, isn't it awful what the fandom's saying about Tia? I'm like, join the line, get in line, get a ticket, step in line.
Very true, because after your win, I remember, there were comments and things and you were upset. And I was fully like the one who was like, oh, well, every cloud has a silver lining.
Yeah.
Because I thought, well, I was on the same show, so I must be experiencing the same thing. Looking back, I was the Princess Diana of drag after season 2. After winning, awful. Don't win is my advice. Horrible.
I don't know about that. The thing is, what it's taught me, and it's probably taught you this as well, as a person, I soak up a lot of the energy around me to get me through a hard time, or I love an audience soaking up their energy. And I can be a bit of an energy leech, and I want to almost leech off of people for like positive vibes because I don't have my own sometimes.
Yeah.
And I think what winning Drag Race taught me is I've got to kind of facilitate my own positive vibes because they're not always going to be there.
Interesting.
No,
I feel that. I think I've learned that a little bit. Like even now, I posted a TikTok like a few weeks ago.
She's on the TikTok, everyone.
She is. At the time of recording, it was 2 days ago. But I posted a TikTok a few weeks ago where I was like referencing like, oh, God forbid RuPaul chooses her favorite to win a season of Drag Race. Some of the comments were like, you need to move on, like get over it.
Oh my God. So funny you mentioned this. I did an interview for the Times, but I did an interview for this. I'm promoting a tour. But I should have just told the Hora, it's top secret. I'm doing a tour. She'd advertise it for me.
Everyone would know.
But for me, I did this interview not thinking much of it, and said, what do you think about Drag Race? And said, looking back, it's 4 years ago, but people still watch our season for the first time to this day.
Yeah.
Someone right now is probably watching this video right after watching episode 3 or 4, or, they're making their way through the season. Spoiler alert, we both win. But
eventually.
Yeah, it takes a minute. But I did this interview. I said, I don't know why people say Bimini was robbed. I literally didn't rob her of anything. Because on my season, we never won prize money. Must be nice. But the amount of people, it went on Reddit, and the amount of people that were like, she needs to move on was a big thing. But then other people were like, yeah, but she should have won though. So it's like, okay, I'll take you at I should move on. I'm also saying you should all move on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's the thing is, because it's coming from multiple people, these comments, not all of them agree with each other. So like some people are like, yeah, I think you should have won. Like, I'm happy that you won, but like, shut up about it like it was years ago. Other people have completely different opinions. And do you know what? Who cares?
Yeah, it's extremely hypocritical. Like being told to like move on. And they're saying it because their fave didn't win the season.
Yeah.
But they tell you to move on in one respect, but then in the other respect,
they'll always hold it again. Yeah.
Yeah. Do the adequate dress bit. I'm like,
oh my God. Still to this day at my shows, I'll tell like a joke about my boyfriend and people are like, talk about Drag Race. Bah, 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 bah. Or they'll be like, do the RuPaul laugh. Or, and I'm like, this is years ago, and still they want to know about like Drag Race stuff. And to me, I feel like I've like squeezed that lemon for everything it's worth.
It's still going. No, but can you do the RuPaul laugh?
Thank you. I'll be here all week.
Thanks. No, that's great.
Yeah.
It's so true. It's very difficult though, because the other thing that we both have in common is genuinely actually being Drag Race fans. Like, and I will say this down the lens of the camera to all ex-participants of Drag Race, I absolutely hate it when you think it's a serve to go, I don't watch it anymore now, I've been on it.
Oh, or when they say before they went and said, well, I never watched it before. Oh, fuck off. You're doing stupid. You should be doing market research, in my opinion.
Of course.
If you know you want to be on that, or that's a platform that you could utilize, you better be watching that. You better be watching what trips other people up.
And, I think maintain watching it afterwards, because it's a good show. I just like watching it.
Unless you've got like serious trauma or something from it. But I know for me, I don't have trauma with the filming part of it. It was tough.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. But like, I'm not like, when I see the runway, I don't like get PTSD or anything, it doesn't affect me like that.
Yeah. I imagine if I ever returned, like I probably wouldn't be like stressed about seeing the runway again. Because obviously I went back to film Versus the World and you have the anxiety of being in the competition. But like you did a whole step down moment. And I imagine that was like a breeze, like a lovely time.
Oh my God. When you're there and you're not competing for anything, it's wonderful. It is so much fun. Like, even I did the American Drag Race this year.
Yep. And humble brag.
Walking in there, I think I was on set for 10 minutes. Collected my check, went to the trailer, left the building.
Gorgeous.
I was in drag 10 minutes. Wasn't that amazing?
Yeah.
It was bliss. The glue for my nails hadn't even dried yet, and I was taking them off. Amazing.
Oh, that's fierce. I hate taking nails off, which is why I don't wear them.
Drag Race is so cold. It's so, because they keep that place refrigerated.
Brisk.
RuPaul's like Walt Disney's head. They keep her cold in that fridge. So, it's just wonderful being in drag there.
That's crazy.
Anywhere else, tough. Like
so
the
you've
heat
been
and
on,
everything.
how many seasons have you been on now of Drag Race? 3?
Season 2, season 4, step down thing with Viv and Crystal. And 17.
Yeah.
And then mentioned in the season 13, the finale, Rose and stuff, which was cool.
And also probably technically the beginning of season 3, because they did clips from
Girl, they do clips of everyone though.
They don't. I watched it avidly. I was like, am I going to make it in?
I think you were in it, the adequate dress.
No, they didn't. I don't think they used the adequate dress.
No.
I think they did. Are you sure?
I think they used, maybe they did.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
And then had her laughing.
Yeah. You've never been eliminated.
No.
Yet.
I don't plan on it.
Well, no, finally, when they get to like season 78 of
all winners,
Down
20
Under
million or
versus
whatever.
the
Yeah.
winners or something.
Venezuela versus the world or something.
Oh, that'd be exciting. It's quite actually refreshing, like being eliminated. I remember that. I was going to talk to you about Doctor Who. Here we are talking about Drag Race.
You remember when I was knocking on your wall? Because we were next door to each other in the hotel and you're not allowed to communicate with each other. And I literally, I felt we didn't get on when we first got there.
Yeah, because you had my name and it was confusing.
And it was crazy. Like, especially the 4 episodes, and then we got into it and then the whoop, whoop went off.
Right. If you are at home, you could see that we did not get on because I say, oh, if I were the judges, I would.
I'd like to let me finish my sentences.
Yeah, you started talking and then I went, I would have finished my sentence. And then you then say, why, I know this word for word. Then you then say, go on, finish your sentence if you're that butthurt about it. And then I like breathe in and I'm a calm, I'm a quiet person. I don't tend to like be outspoken, but I breathe in as if I'm about to be like, you bitch, and like launch into something. They played the siren.
No.
At that moment, like there is a sharp inhale.
No shade. Our season, the timing of how they did stuff. I mean, obviously they saw it getting there and they hit that sweet spot. It was perfect timing.
I will also, I'm saying things that I probably shouldn't talk about, but when we're watching Ru tell us about the break in filming, we're not actually watching Ru tell us about the break in filming.
What are you talking about?
We are stood there looking at a blank screen, not knowing what's happening.
Yeah, they said react as if it's shocking.
Yes, but you can see the continuation of that heated moment because you are stood there agitated.
I'm like this. I'm like, fuming that I have to be stood up.
I look at, I exchange a look with Veronica, which in the moment looks like we're going, oh no, what's happening? But I'm going, Veronica, I could literally murder someone right now. I'm absolutely raging. But it works well. It all came out in the edit. That was really horrific.
And then we bonded over the break with FaceTimes that we weren't allowed to do.
Yes.
And I truly feel like it was really nice to go through that moment with you. It was a really down time for both of us. But like, I don't know, I feel like without that, maybe we might not have connected the way we have. You know, who knows?
Yeah, I mean, if that siren hadn't gone off, we probably would have shouted at each other.
And it would have been like, fuck Ellie and Lawrence, it's about Tia and Lawrence, you know?
And then we still would have been in the bottom 2 for Snatch Game as we were, and everyone would have said, oh, that's production because they had an argument, so they put them in the bottom. No.
We were garbage.
We were
garbage, hot garbage.
Oh,
do you remember after filming, I'm so sorry. Bear with us 1 minute.
This episode will be 2 hours long. It's an extended special.
Do you remember right after filming? Because you were there, and was I down or was I up? I was up.
Wait, when?
On the Snatch Game panel.
I was the first one. You were the other side.
The opposite side, right. Do you remember? Because Ahura as Louis Spence there, Ellie Diamond as Matt Lucas there.
Yeah.
Do you remember Ahura after it was like, right, that's a wrap. Ahura stood up, turned around to me and went, good job, babe. Wow, you killed that. And I was like, there ain't no way you could think I did good remotely.
I don't remember that. Because I was literally like, you can't see like anything out there because it's like quite far away, the cameras.
Yeah.
I remember staring out into the abyss and like trying not to cry. So
I started crying as soon as we got on the bus.
Awful.
Because I knew what was happening. Like, that's the thing that annoyed me is everyone that was like, Lawrence cries a lot. I'm like, yeah, because I knew what was going to happen.
Because
I watched the show. I know what happens.
Do you watch the show, Tamer? No, that was rough. I did think there was a hope. I had a hope that I wouldn't be in the bottom against you. I thought me and Ellie maybe. Yeah, or you and Sister.
I don't think Sister did good, but I don't think she did bad enough to be in the bottom.
Yeah, you know and then I wore that runway, so I guess that was it for me.
That also wasn't that bad. The Snatch Game was worse. But
listen, I refuse to this point. My one delusion, and I will die on this hill, is that the funniest thing about Mel B is that she has a child with Eddie Murphy of all people.
That is bananas.
It's so funny.
You know something that gets me so riled up? I'm a big fan of the Final FronTia. I'm a big fan of this podcast, I gotta say. And do you know what irks me more than anything? I know you. And I know you're a huge sci-fi buff. I know you love Doctor Who. And not just like, oh, I love Doctor Who. You really love it. You know all the facts. And so do I. We relate on that. It annoys the fuck out of me. The guests you have on this podcast that quite literally couldn't give a fuck about science fiction. You had Veronica on talking about fairies in The Legend of Zelda. She's like, oh, I was setting up my keyboard and I was... why? And then, like, to me, I'm just like Kitty Scott Claus talking about musicals. I'm like, what are we doing here? Let's talk about Doctor Who. In the fucking asset you have that says the Final FronTia, you're dressed like a Dalek, so let's talk Daleks.
Give me 1 second. Producer Poppy, did you get those notes? No more guests who talk about anything other. No, we are both. That was one of our bonding points, actually, is that we are both big Doctor Who fans.
Yeah.
And also we have the same name, and also now we've both won Drag Race.
Yes.
Just want to keep mentioning that.
Yes.
But do you have a particular favourite Doctor? I feel like we've never actually spoken about that.
So I have a favourite Doctor.
Is it a classic?
Dr. McLaughlin and Helen's... No.
Is that your real...
That's my real doctor.
Real
Hello,
doctor.
I just doxed myself.
Shut up.
But my favourite Doctor, because I prefer classic Doctor Who.
Yeah.
So my favourite Doctor is John Pertwee, the third Doctor.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was just so camp. I mean, so flamboyant. I also think the stories at that time and the set design, costume design, everything was as its most... camp, it's most flamboyant. It was the 70s, you know, bright colours, everyone
Wobbly
looked
set.
gay, wobbly sets, wobbly teeth.
John Pertwee's the one who has the pink TARDIS at one point. The love, is that
No,
that
that's
one?
Happiness Patrol. That's Sylvester McCoy.
Okay, see, you say I know everything about Doctor Who, and here I am being like,
but I would say though, you know everything I watched to prepare for this, everyone. I'm going to tell you, I saw you doing the Poppy quiz, and it was the Doctor Who quiz, but it was all new Doctor Who questions, and I didn't have a clue. You were talking about I know the Good Man Goes to War episode and the River song. It's me. I'm Melody. I'm your daughter. And Karen Gillan's like, what the fuck? She didn't even know what was happening probably. But I didn't remember any of those specific details, and yet you are on it.
2005 to present.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're classic. I'm RTD onwards.
Yes. But I like the new Doctor Who. I mean, it fell off a little bit, but I like what Russell T Davies is doing with it now.
Speak on it. When did it fall off?
Stephen Moffat, I love you. I liked the first 1.5 seasons of Matt Smith, the 11th Doctor.
I'm a big Matt Smith
Really
stan.
loved... like the Pandorica stuff was cool. Loved the design of the eye patch lady. You can imagine me. I was like, that's the Rani. The Rani's coming back, baby. It wasn't.
It was Madame Kavarian. No.
I know. I'm like, it takes ages for my things to come true, and I really want the Rani to come back.
Do you think the Rani is coming back though?
You think she is? I don't think she's coming back. What is it, Mrs. Rain? Miss Rain?
Flood.
Mrs. Flood. And your whole thing is like Flood, Rain, Rani.
Yeah.
I mean, that would make sense.
There's a new
She
theory.
is camp, though. That actress, Anita Dobson.
Yeah.
She's camp.
EastEnders to Doctor Who. There's a new Mrs. Flood theory.
What is it?
And it's controversial yet brave. So you referenced River Song.
Yeah.
Who's actually Melody Pond.
Where Flood and Rain and
River
all that.
Pond Flood. Is she?
River Pond Flood, mama!
Miss River Pond girl. Boots. Is she? She could be Melody.
Mama, no, she's not. That would require planning. And Stephen Moffat didn't plan nothing. Russell T Davies has planned a bit, I will say, but was handed a load of garbage, mama.
Wait, are you not a timeless child, girly?
Mama, Chris Chibnall ruined that show, mama. And then Stephen Moffat in the end. I like Peter Capaldi as the Doctor.
Same.
And some of the episodes are banging. Some of them are weird.
The Peter
Like, was
Capaldi
it
one.
Heaven Sent and Hell Bent and all that? I'm like, meh.
Oh, I quite like those ones.
And the Raven, I can't deal with a Save the Raven or whatever it's
Face
called.
the Raven,
Clara
yeah.
gets hit by a raven. I'm like, what is going
She's
on?
wearing a lovely outfit though. Lovely sweater and shirt
Mama,
combo.
I love the Scorvox Blitzer or whatever it is. The target confirmed. The little thing in the chair in school.
Yeah.
That was sickening.
We have very different tastes because I'm Hellbent Heaven Sent. That's my
Really?
Yeah, the school one. I was like, Meh.
Okay, question. Do you like the monks? Did you like the
Headless
monk
monks?
saga? Yeah.
Yes, I do like the Headless Monk.
Are you saying that just because Pearl Mackie was on the show, a couple months ago?
No, I'm saying it probably because I studied theology for too long. So when they do the religious stuff, I'm like, that's good.
Okay. I like what it was like going for, but it just, for me, those episodes, they were so trying to be complicated.
Right.
It then just complicated, like my brain got complicated and I went, turn that off.
You want the cool shooty robots. Not shooting Atwa, shooting robots.
Yes,
Yeah.
shooting Atwa, mama.
Yeah.
But I love practical effect monster. I love a robot. Like, I love Sarah Jane Adventures because they had like silly monsters.
Yeah.
You know, I like that sort of thing.
We had Clyde Langer of Sarah Jane on the podcast.
I'm so jealous of you. How was that?
Oh, it was.
You must have been cacking your pants.
I made him. I asked him politely to do the monologue from the beginning, and he didn't remember all of it. But it's fine. I forgive him.
13 Bannerman Road is where Sarah Jane Smith lives, and it's home to what is it? Home to all sorts of creatures in the universe. There's a talking computer in the wall. There's a genetically engineered boy genius in the attic.
Yeah.
Rani across the road, and a whole load of adventure. Rani doorstep.
Wait, she was called Rani,
Yeah.
but not the Rani.
Yeah.
Is that why you like Sarah Jane Adventures? Because it's Rani, but not the
No,
Rani.
do you remember that episode with Nigel Havers where he fucks it down the stairs and the trickster shows up and is like, let me, looking like this, by the way,
Yeah.
trickster in like normal and then trickster in like the wedding episode.
That's what this looks like.
I will take you to Sarah Jane Smith.
And then David Tennant just rocks up.
Rocks up.
Out of
He
nowhere.
took the paycheck and ran with it.
I
mama.
quite liked in the Sarah Jane Adventures when the Doctor just randomly
Yeah, I
turned
loved
up.
it. I loved it.
Oh, I miss her. Sonic lipstick.
Sonic lipstick, and I'm not saying that like that's not a dirty joke. Don't look down, Sonic lipstick. But I loved. That's what I mean. I like the camp. I think
camp.
that had the camp of classic Doctor Who, and you know, of course, they were going to make Luke gay in season 5
because he had a suspicious like roommate when he would do the calls at uni. He was like, "Oh yeah, me and my roommate, we're getting on fine, thanks." And then he was going to come out.
Yeah.
And we never got that.
That would have been amazing. You imagine how progressive that would have been. 2011, Liz Sladen died. That season would have come out that year. That would have been insane.
And it's a CBBC show, so it's for young people as well.
Yeah.
Diversity and representation. Before they even
that
had
could have been.
Stopping. Yeah,
That could have been.
hypothetically.
Yeah.
They alluded to it though. And hopefully.
Which is enough for me.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
It was nice that was going to happen.
Yeah.
Do you have a modern like favourite Doctor? Is it David or Matt? That's the question.
It is David. It is David Tennant. I think David Tennant's amazing.
He's the only Doctor who didn't use his native accent out of all the actors.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Because he is Scottish. I always put on that sort of like RP.
Yeah.
Weird.
I think it's because he got cast off the back of, he did a show called
Casablanca?
Casanova.
Oh, Casablanca, the 1930s movie.
Yeah, he looks good for his age.
Yeah.
But he was cast off the back of that and he did that sort of estuary English accent in that. So I feel like that's why.
What's your favorite Doctor? What, Matt Smith?
I think so. And I have like, I feel like who my favorite Doctor is depends on my favorite companion because I love Amy Pond. She's my favorite companion.
Oh, I don't know about that. I think
she's Scottish. How dare you? Betrayal.
Yeah, that's why I don't know about that. No, my favorite is Donna Noble and the 10th Doctor.
Donna Noble
or the 14th Doctor. 14th and a half Doctor. What are we called? What number?
The bi-generated
The
one.
bisexual Doctor. He's bisexual. No, bi-generation. No, Biden. No, but yeah, I love that. Especially, I love the episode with the Meep. That's a bit of camp. Miriam Margolyes.
Is that not triggering for Snatch
No,
Game?
I loved it.
Yeah.
I really loved it. And Call Me Stupid, maybe because I didn't read the graphic. What was that, magazine or was that a graphic novel?
It was a graphic novel, I think. Yeah.
So I never read that. So I didn't know the Meep was bad.
No, so
But it makes so much sense. Like, it's like, of course, this like cutesy alien is going to be the monster.
Yeah.
Makes so much sense. And I loved that. Maybe it was too simple for some people. I loved it.
No, I loved it. And I loved Yasmin Finney as Donna's daughter.
Loved that.
her.
Hated the line, the binary, non-binary garbage line. But
No, but it's nice to have that representation because we all know
100%.
being non-binary was invented by
Bimini Bombulash, in 2021.
Yeah, we started that trend.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that was a camp episode. I liked that sort of like trio of specials with David Tennant.
Yeah, I loved what's the Wild Blue Yonder or something it was called.
That was good.
I'm interested to talk to you about this. I love when science fiction and horror meet.
Yeah.
And I find it interesting that people, for me, I love the Alien franchise, right? The Alien, Sigourney Weaver Alien. Yeah. And it's interesting. Some people call it a science fiction. Some people call it horror.
You love horror though.
But it's so weird for me that the two can coexist so well.
Yeah, I guess. But then you have like that kind of genre hopping in like lots of things. Like there's like crossovers a lot between like fantasy and like romance sort of like films. Like Twilight is like a crossover between those two genres and stuff like that. So like I do like it when things like combine genres so you can experience like the joy in both. And you're such a big horror girly.
Yeah.
That like I imagine that is like the perfect blend of two worlds.
I love like there's a movie called The Watch with Ben Stiller, Richard Ayoade, Vince Vaughn, I think's in it.
Richard Ayoade's in a movie.
In a movie with Ben Stiller, and it's about aliens taking over a Costco in America.
Fierce.
And it's the Neighborhood Watch Society that like brings them down. And that to me is science fiction, horror, and comedy. I love that. Movies like Super 8 has big alien ties, and I love Stranger Things, and it's interesting that they are scary. They have jump scares. They have these things in horror, but they are science fiction,
You mentioned Stranger Things. Do you remember that queen from Drag Race Down Under who brought a Stranger Things look to the main stage of RuPaul's Drag Race?
Mama can't afford another headpiece. That is what that was. That was bananas. And it wasn't even, I'm pretty sure she didn't even say it was like a reference. She was like, this is my Mardi Gras look. And I'm like,
it was an out-of-pocket moment.
I was like, what? It was crazy. As we're sat here in outfits making references to people.
On a sci-fi podcast, it makes perfect sense.
Makes no sense.
I have one thing that like I need to like pick your brains about. So I have this like theory that they always partner the master with a particular doctor in terms of like the energy and the accent. So like when you have Peter Capaldi
and Missy,
it's like the accent energy. John Sims, David Tennant, that sort of southern like wily like
it's
vibes.
The yin to the yang. I think the master's got to be the perfect yin to the doctor's yang.
Like even Jodie and Sacha Dhawan, like both with that Sheffield accent.
That's right.
Yeah.
Why do they do that? Did they ever say why they do that?
I don't know if they know that they do that. I don't know if it's a conscious casting choice. But like the only time it doesn't match up is Paul McGann and Eric Roberts in the 90s film.
I do not like that 90s film. I think that's bananas.
I don't like them doing like a Terminator master.
It was weird.
Really weird.
Really weird.
But Paul McGann, that little mini episode that he did.
It was so good. Was that the Night of the Doctor? They called that one or something?
Yeah, because it
was
partnered
really
with the
good.
Day of the Doctor.
In the Time War thing. Cool.
Anyone for chess? He was really good. I liked him. I want to see more Paul McGann.
I love that he does the audiobook stuff.
Big Finish.
He's big in Big Finish.
Yeah, I must confess I haven't listened to Big Finish.
No.
Yeah, I kind of like tried and then I couldn't figure out how.
Liz Sladen, Sarah Jane Smith, her daughter Sadie Miller, who's a big fan of us in Drag Race.
Hello.
Hi Sadie. Shout out. Please sign my book. I have Liz Sladen's book. Please sign it. But she does Sarah Jane's voice now, which is so sweet. And she does it for Big Finish. And she travels the world, sort of carrying on her mum's legacy, which I think is so nice.
No, that's really fierce. Producer Poppy is lurking in my peripheral, and that is a secret code for, unfortunately, we've come to the end of the episode.
Oh my God.
Doesn't feel like it. I swear we've been talking for 5 minutes. But
I know.
Time flies. Time and space. Wibbly wobbly, timey-wimey.
Time flies when you're a piece of shit.
But as you know, as an avid viewer of The Final FronTia, you know that we always end with a script, with an acting scene.
Yep.
Chosen by producer Poppy and Baby J. I have a feeling...
No pressure.
It might be a Doctor Who moment. But producer Poppy, please present us with the scene.
End of the world.
Oh, Cassandra and Rose. Interesting choice. Okay, so we've got Rose and Cassandra from the first Doctor. This is the first Doctor, isn't it?
Huh?
Christopher Eccleston. Not the first.
Not the first. This
the
is
new
the
first.
ninth.
Yeah. You should choose. Do you want to be Cassandra, Lady Cassandra, or do you want to be Rose Tyler?
I'll do Rose. Do you mind being Cassandra?
Interesting.
Is that all right?
I thought you'd go for Cassandra.
I know, because she's a bit of camp and she's evil.
Yeah.
Did I ever tell you the story the time Zoe Wanamaker was watching me do my makeup for Cosmopolitan when they did the Cosmo UK Queens?
Humble brag.
And she was watching me. No, she was watching outside because we film it on that street.
Oh.
And she was watching through a Perspex window, smoking a fag, watching me do my makeup.
What, just casually as a passerby?
Yeah, in Soho. Isn't that crazy? So yeah, I'll do Rose.
Okay. Fierce. Okay. And scene. Soon the sun will blossom into a red giant and my home will die. That's where I used to live when I was a little boy down there. Mummy and Daddy had a house built into the side of the Los Angeles crevasse. Crevasse? To the side of whatever that word is. Ah, I'd have such fun.
What happened to everyone else? The human race? Where did it go?
That's very good. They say mankind has touched every star in the sky.
So you're not the last human?
I am the last pure human. The others, mingled?
Mangled?
Mingled. Bing bang bong.
They're mingling.
They're
mingling at the party.
Oh, they call themselves new humans and proto-humans and digi-humans, even human-ish. I can't read today, but you know, I call them gross.
Right. And you stayed behind?
I kept myself pure.
How many operations you had?
708. Next week it's 709. I'm having my blood bleached. Is that why you wanted a word? It could be flatter, or a little bit of chin poking out.
Well, fat shaming. I'd rather die.
Honestly, it doesn't hurt.
I mean it. I would rather die. This is EastEnders. I mean it. I would rather die. It's better to die than live like you, a bitchy trampoline.
It has got a bit, you know. Oh, wow. What do you know?
If you want Bimini. I was born on that planet, and so is my mum, and so is my dad. And that makes me officially the last human being in this room, because you are not a human. Beautiful.
I just wanted to...
Oh, it's still me?
Yeah, it's still you.
Oh. Oh, okay. You had it all nipped and tucked. You had it all nipped and tucked and flattened until there's nothing left. And everything human got chucked in the bin. You're just skin, Cassandra. Lipstick and skin. Nice talking.
And...
Release the beast.
Scene. That was good.
Actually, Bimini does have Rose Tyler energy, actually.
This is what I've been trying to tell her. Like, she's never seen Doctor Who. She admitted it to me on this very podcast. Yeah. And I was like, you'd love Jackie Tyler, Bimini. You'd love her.
Oh my God, Jackie Tyler's her.
Yeah.
That is her. She'd make friends with the ghosts in the street.
Usually we end on that note, but I'm going to end on a final discussion just because I want to talk about this. I would like us to end by casting our season 2 sisters as characters from Doctor Who.
Okay.
Let's start. Like, who would you be? The Rani.
Margaret Blaine, Mama. I'd be Margaret Blaine the Slitheen.
No.
Yes, Mama.
No.
I'd run for mayor in Cardiff and I'd try and fucking kill everyone.
That's with a nuclear power plant.
Yeah.
Rise Droog.
Yeah.
It means bad wolf.
I love it.
Okay, so Bimini.
Jackie Tyler.
Tace.
What's End of the World? The Tree Lady is gorgeous.
Jabe. I thought she was called Jade this whole time, but I think she's called Jabe.
Tace would look sickening as a tree. That is a compliment, by the way.
Twink, derogatory.
Yes.
I was going to say, like, because the way she moves, Jodie Whittaker episode where they have that American billionaire and there's like the spider.
Oh, yes.
I think she'd be that spider. Or maybe the David Tennant spider, the Empress of the Rachnos.
No, that's too nuts. That's Lit's sister.
Okay, maybe.
You know what I mean? Tace is like, maybe, what's it, the Gelth. Tace is the Gelth. Welsh and like flowy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like invading Gwen from Torchwood when she wasn't Gwen from Torchwood. She was Gwyneth. And, you know, like I see her being like a flowy, ghosty thing.
Interesting. Fun fact, Eve Miles dated my sister's ex-husband when they were at uni together.
No.
Yeah, true story. Who came fourth? Ellie Diamond.
You're going to ask a dirty question there. Ellie Diamond.
Ellie.
Big shoulders, large. Big.
I was gonna,
Cyberman. Emphasis on Matt. No.
I think she's got a childlike energy. So I think she might be that girl from the Olympics one who draws fear her.
Fear her.
She's got that energy. Okay, who was after that? This is only fun for us right now.
Yes.
Ahura. I think she'd want to be Rose Tyler.
Do you know who she could be kind of fierce as?
Who?
Time Heist. Peter Capaldi, the bank manager. Keely Halls is the bank manager.
Oh, I don't know how I feel about Ahura in a pencil skirt.
Oh.
But I see the vision.
Drag her. I just thought like the fierce glasses and stuff, right?
I think she needs to be someone a little bit more, maybe like
rough.
one of the future kind, like something a bit like ferocious.
Okay, well, future kind person that's like humans.
That one.
Humans.
At the gate.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know that person, the one in that episode, Utopia, is the trickster. He's the same actor. Yeah.
Come on, multi-role. Very talented.
Crazy, right?
Sister, quirky.
Oh, who does that? Like, oh, Chuck, I'm gonna exterminate you in a minute. But
Cilla Black.
Oh.
Sister would have to be someone from classic who wears like flares, you know?
Oh yeah, good. Okay, this you won't understand this reference. Sylvester McCoy, 8th Doctor reference. It's an episode. Sister is Ken Dodd in Delta and the Bannerman, which was this episode, and Ken Dodd's this like wacky guy in it.
Okay.
That's, yeah.
Where Editor Rich is definitely putting all these pictures.
Put a picture up. Put an asset.
Okay. Then, was I eliminated before Sister? Who would I be?
Yes, you were, honey. Don't forget it.
by you.
Yeah, honey. No.
I maintain if it had been anyone else, I would have stayed.
I do think that, yeah.
For no other reason than Ruth just thought I was mildly amusing. Not at doing another character, but just as a person.
Yeah.
Just to gently poke. Can you do the laugh again? Thanks. Who would I be? I like in my heart I want to say Bill Potts.
But Bill Potts as the Cyberman. Bill Potts.
Yeah.
I am Bill Potts.
With the hole.
The check, yeah. With a hole.
Yes.
Yes.
Ginny
Lemon.
Veronica
first, then Ginny.
Who would Veronica be?
Weeping Angel, because when you stare at her, she does fuck all.
Brutal. I was going to say Astrid, played by Kylie Minogue.
Imagine Veronica. This is Veronica. Oh, I hope you can't see me. Oh, are you looking away? Oh, I'm here. Oh. Yeah, that's Veronica.
A whole clip of you as Veronica as a weeping angel.
I'm Veronica.
Okay,
right now. I'm going to kill you right now. Oh no, you're looking at me. I can't do anything. Right now.
I maintain Kylie Minogue as Astrid in that Christmas special.
Oh, yes. That is some Veronica drag, like slutty waitress.
You know she's got like that naughty maid outfit somewhere in her closet. Yeah,
she has.
Ginny Lemon.
Ginny Lemon is one that's wired into the network. She's like, my masters, they are coming.
It's hidden by the solar flare.
Yes. Yeah. That is Ginny Lemon. I don't know who that character is. That's Ginny Lemon.
She was wired in she's the controller. She was wired in when she was 5. Which is have you seen Minority Report? Poppy's like, I want to get lunch. Hurry up.
Sorry.
Yeah, Minority Report, they have this like trio who are like precognition people who are like psychic and very similar to that. Joe Black, obviously William Hartnell's doctor. Boobs.
No.
That is Joe.
No, Joe Black. Joe Black is like the toy maker. Like, hello, would you like to come into my shop? Hello, would you like a kiss? Come into the shop.
No, I see Joe
like
Black
William
and white.
Hartnell.
Yeah.
Emotions, love, pride, hate, fear. Have you no emotions, child? That's Joe.
Would you like a kiss? Yeah, it's very that. Cherry has to be someone iconic.
Oh, Cherry would be such a good like villain goddess. Do you know actually, we mentioned her already, the Rachnos.
The Empress of the Rachnos.
You can imagine, Cherry would so do that as an Instagram post, wouldn't she? Like,
Yeah.
I made an entire skeleton of a fucking huge spider.
Prosthetics.
Yeah.
Everything.
Like, and she'd be like, oh yeah, and they blink. And you'd be like, who's doing it like her?
Yeah.
Who
Fuck my
does it
drag.
like Cherry Valentine? What a crazy, crazy cool drag queen.
Yeah.
Who would Estina be?
Estina needs to be
Because
someone.
Estina's geeky.
She knows these things. She needs to be someone with shiny legs. Who's got shiny legs? Good one for Jane.
Cyberwoman.
From the Torchwood episode, I've got the costume.
Cyberwoman.
She would
Give
actually
it to
be her.
Estina, because that's the Cyberwoman.
The Cyberwoman who, ironically, given my Drag Race costume history, was pecked to death by a pterodactyl. Yeah.
Wow, that's fate, mama.
It
That
truly
is
is.
fate.
On that note, Lawrence Chaney, thank you for joining me today.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, Tia. I've had so much fun and the time's flown by.
It really
Not
has.
for the people watching at home. I'm sure you're skipping ahead, but it has
And
flown by.
Not for producer Poppy who wants lunch.
Yeah.
But, it has been gorgeous.
Thank
and now, to end the episode, we fly away on our TARDIS. Editor Richard, please put in the noise and make us fade out.
You know, and it like disappears.
It's asthma. That's not how the TARDIS.
Yeah, can someone get my fucking inhaler or what? Yeah.